Travis Wingoodsell. So the waning moon is about to be blown as a trumpet by the Mormons of the Great and Abominable Church of Lucifer. I showed you the picture, I think. I hope I do. I'll show you Isaac sacrifice, or Isaac being sacrificed is facsimile number 1 in a minute, so that you can see how this all works. But that's tomorrow is when the moon will pass, and it will be in a horn shape for Venus, which is the symbol of the Great and Abominable Church, Lucifer, which is the sign at the keystone of the Salt Lake Temple. So if Mormons are unhappy with that, they need to take it up with Nelson, not with me. They need to take it up with Brigham Young, not with me. Yet they still do. And so the question is it a call for distress, or is it a call for vengeance, of hatred? I think I moved that during the cleaning yesterday. So we'll find out tomorrow, I guess, being Friday. Friday night news dump. So with the coronavirus stats for Utah, as I've been keeping track, we're about to find out the new unemployment numbers. 5,000 has been the average for the last several weeks or month. And for the government to think that that's okay, that that's a good number, no number is a good number when it deprives people of life, liberty, and property. So with coronavirus, as of yesterday, we're over 30,000, or almost to 31,000 new cases. And so those are the people who have tested positive. Those are the people who are transmitting it to other people. There have only been almost 19,000 who have recovered. And we're going to not throw in yesterday's bombshell news that people are not recovering for long, as 3 months seems to be about the time period when people are susceptible to being reinfected. But if we take the 30,000, there's only been almost 2,000 hospitalized, and 233 that are dead. So there's still 10,000 who have tested positive, who have not recovered, who are not hospitalized, and who are not dead. Where are they? Remember in the beginning when we were told the difference between quarantine and isolation? If you test positive, you're supposed to be quarantined. Utah chose not to do that. Utah chose instead, oh, you can't breathe, you're dying, now you can be hospitalized. Otherwise, get out of here. We're not overloading our hospitals. That's the path Utah chose to take. Governor Mormon Herbert. And so we have now 10,000 Utah Mormons running around town as Herbert took us to green, as Herbert opened everything back up, as Herbert wants schools to open back up, to infect more and more people. Oh, but he's now telling us to wear masks, as the church also has ordered Mormons to wear masks, despite saying previously that the coronavirus was taking away our agency. The mask wearing is taking away our agency. And so yes, the sign for tomorrow could go either way. It could be Mormons saying, we demand our agency to die and kill other people. Or it could be, help, we're dying, save us. So who knows which way it'll be until tomorrow when we find out. And so that was Herbert's plan, to purposely infect all of us, to have us all die, to weed out the weak from among us, so that only the strong survive. But even those who survive are going to be weakened. This does damage. And so with the signs, how do they work? What do you mean, Travis? What? Well, as I've been trying to go over with you, the ancients were astronomers. They knew when sunrise and sunset was. They knew when eclipses occurred. They knew when certain planets would be in certain constellations, and when there would be conjunctions and rare events. And they knew for the rest of time, as they knew about our day and time signs, as they were in the Bible. And when you realize that, I mean, that's wild. I mean, to have a stellarium program way back then, before computers, that's impressive. And yeah, that's how Scripture got written, was observing the movements of the planets and attaching humans to each one of them and telling stories based on the conjunctions and their movements through the sky. And so, for example, there's the Bible story of Abraham, who goes and sacrifices his son Isaac. But a messenger appears and says, "Oh, you're faithful. You don't have to kill him. Here's a ram for you. Kill that instead." So let me stop this and upload the pictures for you. Alrighty, so there you go. Bible story, Abraham sacrificing Isaac, the Egyptian version where it came from, which is facsimile number 1, and the sign in the heaven of which it corresponds to. And so you might think, well, okay, maybe the Bible was written after the sign. Yeah, likely. And the facsimile was written after the sign. Yeah, likely. Kamambo is what I've discovered facsimile 1 comes from, so thus the rest of the papyri that was with it. And if you don't know where Kamambo is, it's in Egypt. It's further south. It was recognizing that there's supposed to be Horus the hawk flying above the body in that open space that was ripped, torn out, eaten out, maybe by rats. And so it had to have replacements put in for the head of Anubis and such. But yeah, there's only one temple in Egypt that has both the crocodile and Horus, and that's Kamambo. And so thus, That's the obvious conclusion is that the documents come from Kamambo, or are talking about Kamambo in the temple there. And so yeah, then we have the sign in the heavens, and I don't know if you can see it. You have to zoom in to the lower left-hand corner. I'm in Russia, St. Petersburg. That's the closest I can find to get the closest of the total solar eclipse that occurred. And yeah, it was in the north. And so in the south, it was a partial eclipse. The south is Jerusalem. And 4 AD. So, yeah, there's some problems with dating, isn't there? But Mormons should know, though they're already upset and have already left, and so they're going to miss out on this important breaking news that 600 years from the time Lehi left Jerusalem, which was the first year of the reign of King Zedekiah, which was 597 BCE. 600 years from the time Lehi left Jerusalem. There it is. There's the sign of his birth. But it's also the sign of his death. Yeah. And yeah, it's amazing. The Smiths knew about this too, because as those who have done their study of the Book of Mormon know, the Book of Mormon has been plagiarized with encoded messaging. So it's not Jerusalem, it's not Nephi, it's not Lehi, it's not Jacob, it's not Jacob who became king, etc., 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 and it's not Jesus. But if you're not listening to my other videos, you're already upset with me and you're long gone. You put your thumbs down, you've made your abusive comments, and so forth. But that's how it was done, and that's how the Bible was written, and it's all about prophecy, signs in the heavens. So when they talk about the birth of Jesus in 23rd September 2017, right there in Matthew, that's the date they're given for Jesus' birth. In Bethlehem, the Star of Bethlehem, it comes from Isaiah, thus saith the prophet. Well, the prophet was saying, it's a sign in the heaven. Isaiah said it was a sign in the heaven. And Matthew is going, oh, and thus was fulfilled. Are you sure? You're almost 2,000 years late. Or early, rather. And, yeah. And so John gives us the precise day. No man knows the day or the hour, except for John the Revelator. I'm going to make that the change of the title, I think.